All right, this was not a video I expected to shoot today. I was actually planning on getting ready to stream, and I was just looking on YouTube out of fun, and I saw that there was a EA Sports UFC 6 review on IGN, which I've played a couple of these games. They're actually pretty fun. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I've enjoyed them for what they were, mainly just played at a friend's house and stuff like that. So I decided, because UFC is a whole thing lately, especially since we had the Freedom 250 or whatever at the White House lawn, the UFC 250, where they actually literally had a UFC fight in the backyard of the White House. It was obviously very ridiculous, and people had some very strong opinions on there. And I decided, well, I'll just pop in the review and make a funny comment about. I hope that they have the White House lawn, as a, here's hoping we get the White House lawn as an arena option that I posted there. But the review was playing while I was doing this, and I noticed something that was very off, especially while I was listening to it while we were looking at the comments. At risk of possibly getting copyright claimed by IGN, I'm going to play little excerpts, and we're going to be comparing that to something else. So let's go ahead and play this a little bit here. So this is IGN's video review.
Knockouts.
Just listen to the voiceover.
These headline grabbers are essential to MMA, but they only make up one part of the bigger, brutal picture.
Okay, so you hear the voice, right? I'm going to go ahead and play just a tiny bit more and just pay close attention.
The pieces that are arguably more important, the countless bloody knuckles, cuts, gashes, and bruises it's...
Okay, so tell me if you notice anything. Tell me if you notice anything. You might have actually got a little bit of a hint if you were reading the comments from earlier. There are people saying that this guy sounds like AI. I can see this person. Okay, but why does this guy sound like AI? Is that an AI voice? Yep. You guys using AI to do your reviews now? Reviewer makes too many analogies and sounds robotic. AI script. This had me thinking a little bit, because there have been other places like The Video Gamer, for example, that have been criticized for AI. I thought this was actually very interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual script here. I've got the actual script for the video. We're going to see how the voice dialogue compares to that. We're going to follow along a little bit. So I'm going to bring that here. I've got another window that I'm going to play the video in a smaller view, and we're going to rewind it. Let me go ahead and, gosh dang it, I can't figure this out. Apparently, I don't know what even happened there. I must have did something stupid. Okay. Gosh dang it, please let me just manipulate the size of the window. Like, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to do anything else. Okay. So let's just let's let it play. So we're to let it play out.
Wins and losses, knockouts and submissions. These headline grabbers are essential to MMA.
Okay. So you can hear that other than them skipping sensational, it's literally going off the same script.
But they only make up one part of the bigger, brutal picture.
Okay. So this actually had me thinking here. This had me thinking, is this the first time IGN's done this? So this review was done by an individual named Nico Vergara. Nico Vergara. I went ahead and looked their information up. I did see that they have a Blue Sky. They also have a Twitter account here. They're apparently a freelancer. So they're not like fully on employed by IGN or anything like that. They're getting paid basically to write articles or reviews and things like that. They haven't made a whole lot of contributions to IGN's, from what I could tell. They've only had a handful of contributions. So we're going to take a look at those here. So let me see if I can bring up the IGN. I literally just had it up Well, here, I just click on this here, I guess. I must have accidentally deleted that. But you could see this is the most recent review they did, EA Sports UFC 6. They recently had also reviewed NBA The Run. Then they also reviewed NBA 2K26 and NBA 2K25. So not a lot of work with IGN. It seems like they're maybe just tapping this individual specifically to handle some of the sports game reviews. Maybe shorthanded. Maybe it's just cheaper to pay a freelancer to do this, send them the review code, and let them handle it rather than having someone that's actually on staff handling it. I don't know what the circumstances are. So given that there was previous reviews that they did with IGN, I figured it would be good for us to actually compare. So this is going to be NBA The Run. So we're going to let this one play out just a little bit.
3, 2, 1.
Some years back, a few buddies and I started going to the park every Wednesday afternoon.
So you can hear the voices very, very different, extremely different to the one we just had. Let's let that play out a little bit again.
The pieces that are arguably more important, the countless bloody knuckles.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that I can theorize off of this. I'm going to let this one play again a little bit. Let me know what you think.
To shoot hoops. 5-on-5, first to 11.
Okay, so depending on your opinion in the matter, there could be a number of different things that could be going on. There is definitely a difference in the actual audio quality of the mic. So if we were to assume that this could potentially be the exact same person that did the voiceover for both of these reviews, definitely very drastically different audio equipment was used for whatever reason. There could be a lot of reasons that could happen, obviously. Most of the videos that I film on this channel, I use my Blue Yeti microphone, got that hooked up to the computer, got my little foam thing. Doesn't always work perfectly. Whenever I do the P's, you can hear it pop sometimes. But generally, there is a standard consistency with my audio. Something that you do not hear just between two reviews over a period of about 2 weeks. This NBA The Run review 13 days ago. This IGN review for the UFC was posted 1 hour ago as of this recording. So we're talking about a completely, it's not even 2 weeks, and we have completely different sounding reviews. Could be something else entirely. I don't know. So that made me really want to dig a little further onto this here. So here we got NBA 2K26. So we're going to let this one play out a little bit now. This is IGN NBA 2K26. This was 9 months ago. If I tap it, it'll say September 5th. So actually close to 10 months ago now at this point. But let's let that play out.
In the corner, it's Brown. That's in.
Okay.
The assist from Jokic.
In many ways, visual concepts.
All right, okay.
Running NBA 2.
So one thing you'll notice right off the bat here, again, a different voice. Now, there's a good reason why there's a different voice this time. You can see that it is narrated by Mark Medina, senior producer at IGN Guides. Okay, so even though Nico reviewed this game like he did the other games, for whatever reason, they did have a need to specify that it was narrated by a completely different person on this review. That was not specified in the case of the NBA The Run review, nor the EA Sports UFC 6 review. So that leads me to believe that technically it should be the same person, right? It should be the same person. And yet, it gets even more interesting when you take a look at the NBA 2K25 review. So this is the very first review that Nico has documented for IGN. So IGN, they contracted out the NBA 2K25 review to Nico. Either they had nobody that was part of the regular staff that wanted to review NBA 2K25. Maybe they don't really care about basketball games, or they're like, well, I've already reviewed like the last 3 basketball games. Can't you get somebody else to do it this time? Or, something like that. Who knows what the real story is? Or maybe they had a regular sports person that had quit, or they let go or whatever, and so they had to contract it out. So let's let that one play out now.
Over the past few years, Visual Concepts 2K series has become a forgettable jumble of rehashed ideas and
Okay. So again, this is the third review that allegedly is recorded by Nico Vergara, and yet it sounds different from the other 2. They all sound different. So again, back to NBA The Run.
1s and 2s. That way, we could take a break after each game.
Okay, that was NBA The Run. Now this UFC 6.
Cuts, gashes, and bruises it took to reach that.
Okay, and now we're back to NBA 2K25.
Over the past few years, Visual Concepts 2K series has become a
What the hell is going on here? What the hell do you think is going on? Clearly, 3 different voiceovers. This does not sound like a simple difference of audio equipment. It could be potentially in the difference between the review from NBA 2K25 and 2K26. Or not NBA The Run, rather. But the UFC review definitely has a different vibe entirely. It has a kind of a metallic sound almost.
That point often get lost in all the pre and post fight commotion.
You can hear there's like a lot of reverb or something like that in the voiceover. It just sounds unnatural. It sounds off. It doesn't sound the same as
forgettable jumble of rehashed ideas and modes.
Or
game, swap some guys around to keep things fresh.
Okay. Yeah, then none of these sound the same at all. So this had me want to dig a little more into Nico. Like I said, he does have the Blue Sky as well as the Twitter accounts. And it shows that he's also worked for other companies as well. Game Informer. We got something called Fanbyte Media here. Might have to look into that a little bit. I don't know. He seemed like he's slightly more busy on Blue Sky from what I could tell, but it's probably about the same, honestly. So we'll probably use this as the thing here. So yeah, I did find another source here, a site called GamePer. Never heard of this one particularly, but he's apparently had a lot of articles, 190 published total, 145 guides. 138 related to PC, 104 related to PlayStation. And you can see he's done all kinds of work here. Now, these are all written articles. I'm not sure if any of these would actually have a video. I'm curious if we can find something like that. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of these here. Here's a how to make soap in Dwarf Fortress. Let's see if this will have any kind of video. Represented here. Oh my God, this is terrible. Let's go bust this over in Brave. The ads are absolutely atrocious. I was mainly just using Edge for YouTube purposes. Okay, so this all appears to be images. I wonder if there's a way that I can look at videos, trying to find some kind of video source of him talking potentially. Not related to IGN, to see how he actually sounds. Because this is like just a mind-blowing thing. I don't know what the hell is going on. But like I said, there are people saying that IGN has used an AI voiceover specifically for this EA Sports UFC 6 review, which was written out. It is kind of a lengthy review. He's actually kind of really went into a lot of detail, it looks like, with the game here. He gave it an 8 out of 10 overall. Which, it's pretty good. Pretty good score. Like if you're into these kind of games, I'm sure you probably won't be too disappointed with this, especially since they're not like an annual franchise, like say your Madden or NBA. You know, they usually come out every 2 or 3 years or something like that, I think. So they're a little bit longer running. So, you know, I can imagine, like, if you're really into these games, this one might be pretty good. But that being said, what the hell is going on, IGN? Like, for real, guys. Like, what are you doing here? I mean, if it is AI voiceover, just come out and say it. You know, just give people that expectation that you're using an AI trained model. I don't know if that's of him or if that's just some kind of generic voice or what. If it's supposed to be of him, clearly it didn't do a very good job of representing his voice. If his voice is the Run or 2K25, but you know, it's clearly there is something amiss. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. If this video does get copyright claimed, it's going to be up on my Rumble channel because I'm sure they won't even give a shit over there. I do actually have a channel on Rumble. I put up videos. I don't advertise it at all. But if you look up the last line on there, you will find me. And you can take a look at the video there if IGN completely shit cans this. Hopefully they don't. Because I'm trying to demonstrate this. I am not trying to like copyright everything and all this stuff. I'm just simply trying to demonstrate the differences in these voices. And outside of actually playing the voice clips, I don't know how that's actually possible to do. So hopefully the YouTube algorithm, YouTube gods will curry favor with me and let me show this demonstration. And no, don't send out any hate to Nico or anything like that. Like I said, I don't think Nico has anything to do with this at all. If they did use an AI voiceover, I am sure that was 100% IGN's decision to do so. Or, you know, maybe he could have even gave permission for that. But still, it was IGN that did it. If it is an AI voiceover, if it's not, if it was actually Nico recording that voiceover, dude, you got to get a new mic. And whoever was handling the editing, dude, you should have just did the David Medina thing like you did of NBA 2K26. Just have somebody else narrate it. If it was that bad, you know, like clearly something's going on though. Let me know in the comments what you think. Of course, I'd like to hear what you guys got to say. And if you did enjoy this video, be sure to check out the most recent video that I've done. I'm sure you might dig it. Could be very interesting. And in the other corner, the algorithm is going to recommend something that it thinks you'll find to be fire. So hopefully you do. And don't forget, of course, to subscribe if you're new here. But that's going to be the last line.